The best-selling of this book called Mom, Help Me Score A's in Math. It's an Amazon #1 international bestseller in the US and in Australia, and now it's found all over Singapore in any bookstore, popular bookstore. You can find it there. I am excited today because I'm excited for you because you are going to learn how to help your children with any problem solving in the world. Now, how does that sound like? Now, I know the challenge as a parent is everything has changed. You no longer can use algebra anymore. You don't actually know how to use this thing called models. And even when you do, it's still quite challenging, isn't it? So my task here today is to help you to help your child as well. And if your children want to watch this as well, please go ahead. So first of all, before we actually start, I want to share with you a bit more about what we do here at Math Prodigies Learning Center. Is that alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video here for you to show you more about Math Prodigies Learning Center. And after that, we're going to resume. And then what will happen is that I will actually go through the fundamentals of how to solve any problem sums before moving forward with the 3 questions that I've created for you today to illustrate some of the more difficult ones so that you can help your child with that as well. Alright, so let's watch the video right now.
Prodigy. You are Math Prodigy. Good job.
Hi, my name is Saiful Rizal. I'm the founder and dean of Math Prodigies Learning Center. Now here at Math Prodigies, we do things a bit differently. We make sure that math is exciting and fun, and we also make sure that your child excels in it. Our expertise is helping children in primary school as well as secondary school who are struggling in math, who find math that just really difficult to improve on. And we bring them from failing marks to A's and even all the way to full marks. Our biggest success story is Liana. Liana went from literally 18%, yes I repeat 1A, to a full 100% result after 4 years with us. Now of course she's not typical, but she is the best example of what our strategies and our techniques can do for your child.
So at the start of the year, I wasn't doing so well for maths. I was scoring about 50 around there. I couldn't really understand a lot of things. Eventually at SA1, I scored A1 for maths at 81 marks.
Why should you, as a parent, choose Math Prodigies Learning Center? It's simple. The whole system is designed around my own failure and success after doing some little secret techniques and little secret tactics that will help your child to also do the same.
Math will open many doors for me. Math will open many doors for me.
I think he has done pretty well for this year. He used to be complaining about his score not getting what he wanted to, and then after stumbling upon Math Prodigy, we decided to enroll him, and Alhamdulillah he has shown tremendous improvement, and not only in maths, he has also picked up the learning habits, and he has gone down to all other subjects as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of him.
Math Prodigy best!
Parents and children come to our learning center, they always find it a bit weird because it's always a lot of sounds, people are always talking, people are always raising their hands. The reason is because we are not a tuition center. We are a math learning center, and we make math really fun and we play games so that they can learn. And the last part is really important, is that the coaches are actually having a kind of like a brother or a sister kind of relationship with our kids, and we make it really personal. We make sure that the kids are having fun, we have a strong bond with them, and at the end of the day, the kids just want to improve because they want to make their coaches proud.
Before I entered Math Prodigies, my result was not that good. I keep failing. My score was 30 and below. Now in Set 1, I got a 96 for my math.
Now I am in charge. I'll seize this opportunity. I'll be strong, not weak. Believe in me.
I started
joining Maths Prodigy when I was P6. Before I was in Maths Prodigy, I keep scoring U grade for my maths. I never passed before. But after I joined Maths Prodigies, in like 2 months, I managed to get a C for my maths for PSLE. And in Sec 1, Sec 2, I keep scoring straight A's for my maths.
You can be the next. Right. So that's the video that we created, and as you can see, there are actually many success stories. There are so many success stories, in fact, that I've kind of lost track. Some of those kids actually were one of my very first few students, and I wanted to share with you. As you can see over here, this was the launch of Math Prodigies Learning Center, our new center. I actually began this center very small in Kembangan Plaza. It was just a small room, right, with 6 students. And when I combined the idea of motivation, right, motivation plus the skill, which is helping kids with math, I realized that it was a really, really good combination that parents were looking for. So maybe that's why you're here as well. I don't know who you are, I don't know why you're watching this, but what I do know is that your children need some help with mathematics. And in Math Prodigies Learning Center, we basically help children go from F's to A's in a short of 6 months, and we help these kids who can't do math to save their lives. And we do this through making math fun. So just to share with you, this is actually one of my very first students. Her name was Liana. No, her name is Liana, and she came to the center. At that point in time, it wasn't a center, it was just a room, right? But her mom called me and said, Saiful, it's just like, a few months away from the PSLE. I don't know how I'm gonna do this for my child. I'm a bit lost because she scored only 18% overall last year. And we only were left with like I think 6 months, yeah. And as you can see that last year her score, on that final year, her score was 18% overall. And we have brought her, actually she has brought herself from 18% to 100% in mathematics in the 4 years that she was with us. As you can see, this was in Sec 4. Just before her prelims, she scored full marks. Now I just want you to think about that for a while. If a child who scored 18%, who you would think as having no absolute future at all in mathematics, right, and can go from 18% to 100% in that 4 years, what does that mean for your child? It means that your child, no matter how bad he or she is still possible. One of the things that I want to share with you is that we can actually make a change in your children's mathematical future, in a way, basically your grades, right? We can make a difference by starting small. What I did with Liana was very simple. All I did was I started to get her mind focused on small goals. So it's from 18, I asked her, can you do it to 25%, right? And then she got 25%. I asked her, can you do 30%? And we kept growing and growing and growing until PSLE, when she scored grade 3 in her foundation mathematics. And the first secondary school paper, she actually scored an A1, and she just kept going and going and going and going. I'm going to share with you a bit how that happened. Another child who I helped also was this girl over here, Ashura. She actually scored a distinction that made her the top 5% in the whole of the group of people internationally who took part in this math competition. So that's quite cool, because I was not able to get a distinction in an international math competition. All I got was a participation, which said basically, thank you for making the top 10% possible, because you belong to the bottom 90%, or more likely the bottom 10%. So that's what happened. And if we can help your child to go from average, because she went from average to getting distinctions, it means that it's not us, because for me, it's not me. I don't do all these international math competitions, and yet I was able to help her, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I want to share with you a bit about myself. As you can see here, I was part of the prefectorial board. Right on the left hand side over there, I was actually a prefect, the last prefect to actually fold the Hague Boys Primary School flag and give it to the principal. I remember the day it was very, very sad, because my father was from Hague Boys Primary School, my uncles were from Hague Boys Primary School, and I was the last batch. I did pretty well for my PSLE. I got 241, Not so bad, not so good as well, seeing as to how my friends, some of them were doing really, really, really well. But yeah, I was very grateful for it. Everything went smoothly until ding ding. Okay, as you can see here, 6 months to O levels. I was in Tanjung Katong Secondary School, and you can see, I'm gonna point my over here. Can you see my E-maths was a D7, yeah, and my A-maths was an F9. Now, you might be wondering, why is this guy teaching my son maths again? Right, so D7 and F9. I'll tell you what happened basically. I had a lot of family problems at this point in time. I was very distracted, but at the same time, it also highlighted to me that my command of mathematics was very, very poor. However, what I did next was I actually went online to look for some motivation. I asked myself, how do I get motivated? And I would find the world of personal development, and that was my journey, the beginning of my journey to listen to Tony Robbins, people like Jim Rohn, people like Zig Ziglar, like Les Brown. If these names are not familiar, just go check it out. They're really awesome people. And I went through this, and I listened to this motivational talks every day for 30 days, and by the 15th day I was so pumped up. I remember that my teacher said the best way for mathematics, for you to excel in mathematics, is actually to do your 10-year series. So what I did was I took my 10-year series, right, and instead of just leaving it on the shelf, I actually did it. Right, I know some of you parents, you most probably actually buy the whole popular bookstore and in the end never actually use it. So I took that 10-year series, right, and I began doing it bit by bit. I had no tutor whatsoever, so what I did was I actually look at the back of the answer to find out why I went wrong, and I worked on it. And if I don't understand it, I went around with to the teachers, to my friends, and asked them why exactly did I go wrong. And I was actually quite motivated. I was so motivated to the point where I was doing this every single day until 2 a.m. in the morning. I remember my mom would make me this like Milo, a jug of Milo, not jug, sorry, a cup of Milo, and I would drink this every morning at 2 a.m., 1 a.m. to get myself more pumped up for the finishing line, to finish up just a bit more. And I ended up not doing it once, not twice, but 3 times, the whole of the E-maths assessment book. The A-maths assessment book I managed to do only once, and here's the results. After 1 month before O levels, this was what happened. I scored 18 points. As you can see here, for mathematics, I actually got an A2. So that actually worked out. A-maths was still a bit of a problem. It was a C5. I was 59 marks. It was 1 mark shy of a B4. And it was doing well. Okay, so you can see it's not only the motivation side, it's also putting in the effort. Repetition that creates skill. So as a result, as you can see at the end, I actually got 10 points. I was quite happy, very proud of myself. As you can see here, mathematics, I scored an A1 for the O levels. And for A-maths, I didn't do too well. I scored a B3, but it's still a huge accomplishment for me. And it showed me that if I had enough time, I could do it as well. So can your child. Alright, so here's what I want to share with you. I actually went to Victoria Junior College after that. It changed my life. The people around me were very, very high standard. I was scored 6 points. After bonus, they scored 2 points. There was half of this group were scholars, I think. They are scholars, and they're leading very, very good lives now. And yeah, I'm happy to call them my friends, and they really pushed me even further. My A-levels, I don't have my A-levels cert here, but my A-levels mathematics, so I scored an A. It was the only A I got. So how ironic is it that I went from an F9, right, or a D7 F9, to getting an A for math in A-level, right? And I went to National University of Singapore, and US. It's my mum over there, my uncle over there, Gus Aspa, and I got a degree in business administration. I actually began my business, Math Prodigies Learning Center, in the first year at NUS. So this is the story, and I want to share with you that success equals to the belief that your child has in himself, as well as the beliefs he has in around mathematics. Okay, plus strategy or the skill. So sometimes I see that a lot of kids have the belief. They're so they believe a lot in themselves. but then they don't really have the skills or the strategy to do that, to back up that confidence. On the other hand, I also see kids who will have all the strategies, but they don't really have the right beliefs. They don't really work hard towards it. They are given the whole popular bookstore, like, the mom bought them the whole bookstore, and they have the strategy, but they don't actually use it. So it takes both belief as well as motivation, as I always say, plus the skill and the strategy for success in mathematics. So let me share with you that something called the success cycle. This is from Tony Robbins, one of the world's foremost success coaches, and he says that every one of us has potential. Correct? Every one of us has potential. Your child, every single one of your children has potential, and he takes a piece of action. He takes action, right, and he gets a result. And this result actually creates a belief that he has about that thing, and that determines whether he takes out more of his potential or less of his potential. I'll give you an example. If, for example, your child, he has potential in mathematics, right? But if he were to score, the first paper ever he took for math was 10%, 10 upon 100. Right? He took action, he got a result, 10%. What is his belief now? His belief is maybe I'm not that good at math. And do you think he will take out more of his potential or less of his potential? Will he take more action or less action? The funny thing is that when we don't do well in a certain subject, we don't spend more time on it normally. We actually spend more time on the things that we are already good at. So we actually spend time on the things that we are not, we don't spend time on the things that we are not good at. And so we take less action, and then what happens? The results get lower. Let's say you get 8%, and the belief now is solidified, saying that you are not a math person, which is not true. In my book, I say this is BS, not that belief system. Alright, it's a belief system, and so it's a very vicious cycle. But similarly, if your child now has potential, of course, right, and he takes his first exam and he scores 85%, right? He takes action, got the result, 85%, and then he forms a belief that maybe he's pretty good at math, and maybe some people around him say, wow, you're pretty good at math, huh? Right? And what do you think he would do? He would take out more of his potential. He would take more action. It's like a game that he loves to play because he likes to win. And then he gets the result, and guess what happens? It forms the belief that I am a math prodigy, for example, right? And this is the belief part. So that's what I want to share with you. So if you want to change something here, you want to change the part which is only one thing can be changed, which is belief. Alright, I'll share with you this little article here. Desperate mom sends him for hypnosis to get better marks. Caning, bribes and tuition didn't change his red marks. Then the mom tried something new and he got full marks. Now why is that so? Because of belief. What does hypnosis change? Hypnosis changes the child's belief. There's been a research shown that they hypnotize a subject, right? And then they said, okay, it's about to rain, okay, so better get an umbrella. And they snapped him out of it, and when he snapped out, you know what happened? He immediately took out an umbrella and he opened it in the room. And when he was asked, why is it that you do that? Why is it that you did that? And he said, it's gonna rain. Doesn't make sense. Because when you change the child's belief, someone's belief inside, it's like planting a seed, like in the movie Inception, and boom, he will take the action based on that belief, you see? So there you go. That's the first part I want to share with you. Now, I know this has nothing to do with problem sums, but actually it has everything to do, because it's not only the strategy, it is also the belief and the motivation behind it. So I'm going to share with you in my book. I actually wrote down this thing called the math equation. M plus A plus T plus H power C equals to Ace. I'm going to share with you very quickly that M stands for the mental game. Mental game on the 5 belief systems of failing math students. I actually reveal this in the book and how we can counteract that. These beliefs form basically everything about the child's ability to draw out the best potential from himself. As you can see here, this is one child who actually drew the most belief. He went from scoring A's, always stuck at A's, and then finally he scored an A star for the PSLE. How amazing is that? A stands for an amusing educational time, because most of the time children learn mathematics in a very boring fashion. They are tortured, I tell you. They are crying, not because they love it so much, but because they are tortured. And what we do is amusing educational time basically means that we turn math into a fun real life application. This is what we do at the center. This is what we do. I suggest to parents to teach their children, have an amusing educational time. T stands for tenacious foundation, the secret to passing effortlessly. Because most of the time people say, I want my child to pass at least, right? Well, the idea here is you must get the foundation tenacious. That means it's unshakable. You get it? M plus A plus T plus H. High scoring bombs away. So this is the part that all of you want, which is how do we score at the problem sums, what are the super techniques to score A's fast, and that's what we are going to be covering in the next few videos. All right, M plus A plus T plus H power C. And before that, I want to share with you, today we're going to talk about the PSI method. You know what it means? It means the problem sum investigation method. All right, the problem sum investigation method, how to solve any problem sum in the world. So I'm going to share with you the how we do it first, how I teach the children to do it first, and then we will go into some specifics. Is that all right? Cool. So the PSI method, step 1, right, is to scan the scene. So for example, if you are in a crime scene, let's say you are Sherlock Holmes, you come in, what do? You look around, right? You look around and you like scan, like look around, and you imagine the story unfolding before your eyes. You try to look at what's actually going on here, what went on, you get what I mean? And in a problem sum, when you read the question, the child must see the story unfolding before their eyes. It cannot be a bunch of words. It has to be a real life story. And then only can it be fun, can it be interesting, can it be mysterious, you see. So what I do normally is I draw cartoons, we reenact stuff to make sure that the kids understand how this works. And then we ask ourselves, what do they want us, or what is the question want us to find or to solve? Because we always begin with the end in mind, and then only can we work backwards to find the answer. That's step 1. So step 1 is scan the scene. Step 2 is do the detective work. Okay, so what I mean is this: we look for numerical clues. Most of the time, these words, there's a lot of words, but we look for the numbers, the numerical clues, and then we figure out the right method. This is what we're talking about, the right heuristic, the right method, and that's what we're going to cover later on in the next few videos to share with you some interesting ones that parents usually find very difficult. Third step is to recreate the scene. So the detective now knows what's going on. He kind of has an idea. He does the detective work, and now he recreates the scene with all the clues that he has to see what actually happened. And the best tool we have in mathematics, in primary school at least, is a model. And the kids hate drawing models. But if we reframe it as, you see what? Look at this. We are recreating the scene. We're trying to work backwards to see what exactly happened. Then boom, the child might just get interested. So we draw the model and we put the numbers in, which is the clues that we got from earlier. Okay, and last but not least, we solve the case. Solve the case, very simple. Be very careful. A lot of kids like to create last minute mistakes. What's it called? Careless mistakes last minute, and boom, the whole question is wrong. So be very careful, and last time is just write your official statement. For example, Ali and Bala had 64 marbles altogether. That's it. So that is the PSI method. As you can see here, the next thing I'm going to share with you is something called the unchanged identity concept for ratio. But before that, I just want you to understand that this next few videos I'm going to share with you are actually part of something that I'm developing even further. So if you are interested, do drop me a message in the comment below, or drop me an email and tell me whether you are what you want to learn, because this is actually something that I'm working on right now. And yeah, so I hope the last few minutes we spent together has been valuable. You've learned something, and I'm looking forward to see you at the next video. Alright, that is Coach Saiful signing off. You are a math prodigy.